Alright, we're flying from the seat of our pants with this one. We're gonna talk about this Yoimiya team. Everybody's dunking on Yoimiya like she's got nothing to offer. Nobody wants to play Yoimiya, but we can clearly see after this video that Yoimiya does not play when it comes to damage in 2024. Patch 5.2, Yoimiya's still blasting. And honestly, it's really because of Chevreuse, I think, that makes all the big difference, especially for this team. But let's get into it and just take a look at our characters and see what this team looks like, right? So get in here and we'll take a look. We've got Yoimiya, Fischl, Beidou, and Chevreuse. Absolute slammers. This whole team absolutely pops off, and may not make sense right at first, but everything going on here creates some huge damage, especially Yoimiya, without having to worry too much about her whole rotation. So I do have a little bit of investment in here. The reason I built this team is because I really wanted to get Yoimiya doing something good. I think that's kind of actually my whole perspective. Now I think about it, talk about it a little bit, is that I like to take the characters that everybody says can't do and show you that they can. So we built Yoimiya here, mostly built for attack and crit and things like that. I'm still kind of working on her weapons, so we've got her at 88 right now, still a ton of crit damage. This weapon makes a huge difference. Big damage. Big damage getting this weapon over something even like Slingshot or Rust. I think if you're gonna build Yoimiya, you're probably gonna really think about getting this weapon. It's a huge bonus. I noticed a big difference going to this weapon. And then with their artifacts, we're using the Shimenawa's Reminiscence set. That gives you a bunch of extra damage when you pop your elemental skill, but it does take some energy, which makes this actually very cool for this set. Normally it's kind of a pain in the butt, but somebody told me from Jello Impact Discord about a really interesting rotation if you get her second constellation, which gives you a pyro damage bonus from crit damage, but also, her C1 gives you an additional attack bonus when somebody's defeated by her burst. And, well, if her burst is attached to it, so it attaches to somebody. So we can kind of look at that. Her talents aren't super great, but that's not important. Really, all we care about is her level 10 normal attack. That's big damage. All of her damage is coming from those normal attacks, and we want that scaling to be as high as possible. And then on top of that, I think her skill is also very important for increasing that damage. We're getting a bit more of a normal attack damage when we level this up, so definitely something I want to do at one point. Not a huge increase, though, compared to the normal attack. And then her burst is kind of unimportant for damage, but it's very important for this constellation, which gives us extra damage when something dies from her burst. But anyways, we can take a look at Fischl. Fischl's build is pretty standard operation here. Level 90 is important. Give her the Stringless R5. We've probably talked about that before. Big elemental damage bonus. Big elemental damage bonus from the Golden Troops set. Lots of good stats in here. Take a look at her constellations. Big damage when she's got her C6. A bunch of damage bonuses in her C6 or constellations here, including a little bit of HP regen for her. We love to see that. And then with her talents, I mean, basically all we really care about is her skill here. That's all that's doing damage, even when you use her burst. So throwing as much into that as possible is pretty much all that is required. Then next up, we've got Beidou. Beidou's a hidden favorite, one of the best characters in the game, even fun to play solo. Does a lot of damage, just doesn't feel like it because it's coming from these little electric sparks, and so you get these big numbers. You don't necessarily associate that with Beidou, but she's doing tons of damage on the team, especially when you throw that Serpent Spine on here. It's a great weapon with tons of crit. She's off field often, so you're getting the most out of the refinement bonus. And the alternate effect here from extra damage, so just perfect for her, especially on this team where we do know we're playing her off field. We give her this the emblem of the Severed Fate set here, which gives her a bunch of elemental damage bonus from her burst, which is where all the damage is really coming from. unless you're worrying about hitting her skill, but that gives enough damage on its own. It doesn't really need to be bonus, especially when you've got a bit of electro damage bonus coming from her goblet. And then we do also have C6 on her, which is pretty important, especially we're reducing the electro res of the opponents. It gives you a lot more damage from everybody else on the team who's doing electro damage, including her. So that's Fischl and her in this case, which is a ton of damage. And then we should also be giving her burst up, probably. I would say, yeah, burst definitely for all the damage, because that's where in a team where she's off field, all the damage is mostly coming from that burst, as we've said. And so that'll round out Beidou, and so we can run into Chevreuse here. Now this is kind of the secret sauce of the team. Doesn't need a huge level investment. Mostly we're worried about getting her bonus from her talent. But we can take a look here at her weapon. This weapon, again, her weapon's not even that important. I just put this on her because it's got a bunch of HP and the energy regen. I didn't realize this was such a good weapon for her. This Dialogues of the Desert Sages, so I think this is probably one of her best weapons, considering it's giving her a good amount of energy and HP, and her energy regen, with, if you give her sands, this is just enough to make it all work right. So getting the extra HP off of the substat instead of something else like I was using, like the catch, you know, some energy recharge to get her burst damage up a bit, but not really that important because damage isn't her main focus. Her main focus is, of course, reducing the elemental resistances of the enemies. But we'll look at that in a second when we get to the talents. But if we run through here with the artifacts, I give her the Noblesse Oblige set, which is really good because she's going to be the last party member using her skill. She's always using her burst, so we're getting 12 seconds of that attack bonus on top of everything else. So you can just see, you know, all the pieces are starting to line up here. Tons and tons of little bonuses to damage here and there between the artifacts and the skills. She also has C6. I mean, I really, I think I make these teams often when I get C6. I start on putting these teams together because you start getting some more options. So, you know, you take a look at this, for instance. When somebody gets healed from her skill, they get a 20% pyro and electric damage bonus for 8 seconds. And now that's on top of her talent, which gives resistance decreased by 40% to pyro and electro resistance. So that's what makes C6 Chevreuse something really, really, really powerful. And I know she hasn't rerun it a long time, and so this might not be super viable for everyone, but that last constellation here, although it is agnostic of the team composition, so you're always getting this bonus. It's still not the game-changing effect that you have to worry about with Chevreuse. She's already getting the main effect from her talent. You can use her at C0 without any issues. I guarantee if you run this team at C0, you'll see a little bit less damage, but it'll function just as good. And, you know, at this point, I think we need to go through and kind of show what this team can do. So let's go run around for a little bit. I might cut through a few pieces here just to show you what's good. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with the rotation on this team, on this first boss here, and just kind of see how the team performs and how energy works and all that. We try to start the rotation with Yoimiya's burst, but we don't have quite enough energy for that, so we got to do one rotation first. We got everything flowing nice and juicy. So we'll kind of get her in there, try and catch a parry with Beidou for some energy. We got her burst up, but going to Chevreuse. And we'll use her burst and her skill 3 times, and I shouldn't have used Yoimiya's burst there, but that's okay. We should have enough energy still. Anyways, we got a bunch of attacks in here as we go through this. Just try and avoid the damage as much as possible. You can dodge through a lot of these attacks whenever necessary. Alright, we got her burst back up, and then we're going to go into Fischl. We got her skill. And same thing, can we catch a parry with Beidou? Yes, we did. We've got enough energy for her burst again. Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now we can go into Yoimiya. Oh, wait, he's flying. He's flying. Alright, well, we're going to lose some damage here because we can't attack anything, but that's okay, I guess. But let's see how it does on a ley line here, just to get another example of some good damage here. Kind of just run through the regular stuff. Don't have to be too perfect on our first rotation here. Try and get those attacks in and just start shooting with Yoimiya. After your first rotation, everything kind of always falls in place. Always have enough energy, so whatever you do, you just kind of wait for that and throw out your burst, and then we're in business. We've got enough energy here. Bingo, bango. Yeah, and we'll just keep going. If you understand at this point. Alright, let's take a look at the domain here. I like this one a little bit because it's got a few enemies here that are a little bit tougher, and it's just kind of a good showing for this team. It's kind of a good situation, so should look pretty good. get in here and use your burst and skill and attack, and then you're gonna shoot these guys to pieces. Bam, bam, bam. Look at those numbers, big numbies. Oh. Alright, time to throw down our burst again. Now we're in the juice. Bingo, bango. Alright, energy, bam. And isn't it just so cool? It's just cool. Bam. Alright, well that about wraps it up for this one. I really loved making this team. I really loved playing this team. I really loved giving Yoimiya something else to do. I'm glad I got her weapon. It was a lot of fun making this video and telling you about the Yoimiya's team here. So I think I want to start something though. I want to kind of get your opinions. Maybe you guys can leave some comments about some characters that are maybe underutilized, or maybe somebody told you they were bad and you really love them and you want to see a team that's good for them. Leave some comments and I can give you some ideas of some teams to try, and if there's a really interesting team that you guys come up with, I might make a video about it. I might make that team, and so I'd love to be able to do that. My account's getting to the point where I can start trying some of these other things, and I'd love to do that and see where we get with it. So yeah, get subscribed so you can see that content, and leave a like on the video if you like these kind of videos that I'm making. I'd like to keep making more of them, and you know, it's up to you guys to tell me what you like. So if you don't like something, you know, you need to put that in the comments too and tell me I'm suck. You know, so let me know, guys, and I appreciate you all and thank you for watching.